Dr. Mehmet Oz joins us along with Arkansas Senator Tom Cotton, who's going to be campaigning with him. Today he is in Pittsburgh. Guys, good morning to you.
Morning.
Morning, Steve.
Okay, so Dr. Oz, let's start with you. You're finally going to have a debate, but it's next week. I know, hasn't early voting started? Why so late? And why only one?
John Fetterman stalled, he obfuscated, he created every excuse possible. Finally, because there was a huge onslaught of media pressure on him, agreed to a single debate as late as possible. You're right, the early balloting has already started, the absentee ballots. But here's the thing, he's only agreed to an hour of one debate, even though he's been asked by multiple outlets to do several debates, or at least give me a little more time than an hour, because he needs closed captioning, which means when I speak, because he's unable to understand or process the words that I'm saying, apparently, he needs to have it on closed caption. So he's going to read the questions and then ultimately answer them. I think for the voters of Pennsylvania, this is an issue of transparency. We're trying to figure out, is he able to do the job of a U.S. Senator? And Pat Toomey, who's been on several events with me, has over and over again said, you guys are going for my job. I know what it takes to be a U.S. Senator. You have to be able to debate, to answer questions, and closed captioning doesn't exist on the Senate floor. So we've also asked him to release his medical records, which again, he's refused over and over again, despite multiple different outlets asking it. In fact, now demanding it of him.
Senator Cotton, why are you on the campaign trail for Dr. Oz today?
Steve, I'm back in the Keystone State because Dr. Oz will be a great United States Senator for the people of Pennsylvania. He's been traveling all over this state he loves so much. I think one episode earlier in this campaign trail really contrasts the differences between him and John Fetterman. Dr. Oz visited a open-air drug area in Philadelphia, talking to the addicts, trying to understand how they became hooked on these drugs, trying to get them help. That's the kind of compassion Dr. Oz will bring to the United States Senate. John Fetterman, on the other hand, wants to release violent criminals from jail, wants to keep our southern border wide open that would just flood Pennsylvania with more drugs from cartels. Or as part of Dr. Oz's tour across the state, later today we're going to be at a natural gas facility. Pennsylvania has the opportunity to provide thousands and thousands of good, high-paying jobs for its workers and to help get energy prices under control in this country. That's what Dr. Oz will do in the United States Senate. John Fetterman said he wants to ban fracking, which would only do more to drive up energy prices and cost Pennsylvanians thousands of good, high-paying jobs.
Dr. Oz, Senator Cotton just did a good job laying out John Fetterman's positions. Obviously there's a clear choice between your positions and his positions on a myriad of issues. Why is he ahead of you right now? According to the Real Clear Politics average of polls throughout the Keystone State, he's at 46.2, you're at 42.8. Why so close?
Well, it's a toss-up, in fact, when it comes to the most recent polls. And the reason it's been close is because the Democrats have poured a ton of money into the Commonwealth, mostly from California and New York. They think they can buy the 51st Senate seat. They don't know anything about John Fetterman. They don't realize he's far to the left of Joe Biden. They don't realize that he would advocate for the kinds of changes in America that none of us want to see. And conservative Democrats are going to break for us. We're getting the independents already. That's why we're going to win this race. If you're concerned about money in Pennsylvania, you should be. Please go to droz.com and contribute, because it helps a lot. We're using it very frugally. But we will win this race because of crime, because Fetterman believes that we should legalize all drugs, which is a crisis in a state where fentanyl deaths are top 5 in the country, and because of inflation, which Fetterman has advocated for even more spending, even more of the reckless spending of our children's money than Joe Biden's administration has accomplished.
Sure. And Senator Cotton, before you go, at the top of the program, we were talking about how Republicans are spending $150 million in ads to remind people about inflation. And the Democrats, the New York Times had an item yesterday, the Democrats essentially gave away $2 trillion worth of stimulus money, but they don't want to talk about that because that, Republicans say, is where inflation came from.
Well, that's exactly where inflation came from, Steve, and inflation is devastating the budgets of Pennsylvania's families. John Fetterman will be a rubber stamp for Joe Biden's agenda, and that agenda has driven this inflation by spending trillions of dollars we don't have and driving up the price of energy costs for Americans. A vote for John Fetterman is a vote for Joe Biden and more inflation. A vote for Dr. Oz is a vote for stable prices, a growing economy, safe streets, and a strong America.
All right. I got a feeling if you lived in Pennsylvania, I think I know who you would vote for. Senator Tom Cotton, we thank you very much. Dr. Oz, thank you as well.